family and I joined in 2018, and it's changed our lives for the better. We love paying way less while helping other believers afford their medical bills. Take the leap of faith and see why Christians across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
Stocks rose on Wall Street and Treasury yields fell after the government reported that employers unexpectedly cut 23,000 jobs last month. The S&P 500 rose 0.6%, topping the all-time high it set on Tuesday. The Dow rose 0.3%, and the Nasdaq Composite added 1.3%. The weaker signal on the job market raised hopes that the Federal Reserve can wait longer before raising interest rates to fight inflation. The yield on the 10-year Treasury fell to 4.64%. The price of Brent crude rose 1.3%. European markets rose and Asian markets ended mixed. The Dow gained 151 points to 54,036. The Nasdaq up 342 to 26,690. The S&P added 47 to 7757. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm John Scott.
News and analysis at townhall.com. Ford is
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's your weekend forecast. We'll have some showers tonight, probably ending by midnight. The low dips down to 73. Tomorrow is just like today, 92 again the high. A blend of sunshine and clouds, some possible afternoon and early evening downpours. And it's more the same for Sunday. 93 is our high temperature. Have a great weekend. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk, Sports Talk Media Network. It is finally Friday, and we're happy to be with you because we are on the best trail in South Carolina, the Palmetto Pigskin Tour, as we go across the state of South Carolina, visiting with the schools, the coaches, the players that aren't named South Carolina and Clemson, because we're with them all the time. We like getting out to see the other folks as well. Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen, we are here at Coastal Carolina. We kick things off this year with the Chanticleers. It's a new era of Coastal Carolina football with Coach Ryan Beard. They have been hard at work over the past few days, and they've got a lot of work to do. They've got to solve their quarterback situation. They've got to deal with new coaches, new players, new attitude, new expectations, and all of that, Bergie. But from the beginning of camp this week, it seems like the energy is very high, the excitement level is very high, and they're ready to see what they can do in a few weeks.
What is it Dabo likes to say? Best is the standard. Well, here it is out-hit, out-hustle is the standard with Ryan Beard. But, yeah, you can't help but like him if you watch him, the energy he brings to the table. I mean, I saw him Wednesday, their opening day of training camp, and he's jumping. I mean, jumping on some of his players for not trotting off the field. I mean, you think it's a relatively minute thing to just jog off the field. No, there are certain ways that they do things. Every program says this, and Ryan Beard trying to establish that right off the bat. But I think you probably hit on their number one issue right now is figuring out quickly And Nick Petrino talked about it Wednesday, the offensive coordinator, Bobby Petrino's son, so he knows a thing or two about putting some points on the board. But he touched on it. They need to figure out who the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks are, get them in line and start getting them the reps they'll need, because they don't open up with a soft touch.
No.
Having to go to Morgantown to face West Virginia and Rich Rodriguez, who also knows a thing or two about scoring points and putting up touchdowns.
That's a tough way to break in your new program, to have your first game of your new era in your coaching career, as Ryan Beard will face Rich Rod up in Morgantown, West Virginia. And you know they're going to face a team that's going to have great speed, and they're going to play fast. They're going to run the typical Rich Rod offense. So that'll be tough. That'll be a tough opener. See how things go there. But right now it's all about putting your team together, finding the right guys. And I guess here at Coastal Carolina, the number one thing is determining who the starting quarterback is going to be, because it's a true camp battle going on.
Yeah, this is not like South Carolina where Shane Beamer says, we have competition at every position except one. Lenore Sellers, is going to start. And Dabo Sweeney has hinted at the fact it looks like it's going to be Vizina to start at LSU. But here, it literally, I think, is Phil, and I don't think it's coach speak. I'm not sure they know at this point in time. They probably have a much better idea than I do, but I don't think they know exactly who they want to run out there, because all of their guys, and they've got several transfers. They've got Trevor Jackson's one that'll be interesting to watch, young man that transferred in here from Arkansas. And if you see him walking around campus, you'll be able to tell he's a football player. He looks like an SEC-type quarterback. Obviously didn't get the run at Arkansas they wanted to, and Coastal certainly fortunate to have him here. They've brought in a quarterback that transferred with them. They've gone into the junior college ranks to bring in a guy. There are a couple of freshmen that they're extremely high on. So at this point in time, they truly have 5 guys, probably 4, that are battling for that number 1 spot. And I don't think we'll know for sure maybe until West Virginia week. My guess is, and Coach Beard can touch on this better than I, but I'm guessing he would probably like to be able to name the scrimmage next weekend, and probably will have one more before that game. Probably after that, if they do have a second scrimmage, I would think that's when they're ready to announce who their starter is.
And he's doing everything he can to keep that thing quiet, right?
Very much so.
He doesn't want anybody seeing what's going on behind the scenes. Meantime, South Carolina opened practice this morning. We were allowed to watch the first 3 periods, which means didn't get to see a whole lot. Saw the Gamecocks doing some stretching.
How'd they look?
Oh, they stretched well.
That's important for a football team.
Nobody popped a hamstring that I could tell. Nobody came limping out of the stretching exercises. So that all looked good. We saw them kick some field goals, saw some field goals go through, so that was good. Nobody mishandled the snaps. Snaps were all nice and clean. Saw some individual drills. Saw some semi-team drills, and then we were drilled out of there. It was baby get out of there after 3 periods. They'll have another open session tomorrow morning. I think they're going to have 5 periods open tomorrow, and then, after tomorrow, they'll be able to put the pads on next day out.
Well, and you brought up a really interesting point, something we have not touched on. We mentioned it, I think, right after spring practice was over and early when we got into talking season, but the Gamecocks are really unsettled at the place-kicking position. And this is something that normally South Carolina does not deal with, especially with Shane Beamer and his track history with regards to special teams. But I think that's going to be a fascinating – nobody cares until you miss a field goal. Then everybody cares. But who's going to punt? I think we probably figure it'd be Mason Love, right?
Yes.
He'll be the punter. But in terms of the place kicker and the kickoff duties, I think those are wide open right now.
Had a good conversation with the new special teams coordinator yesterday, Matthew Smiley, during the press day session that we had. Really nice guy, and asked him a lot of questions. We'll bring you that interview next week, and asked him, do you have somebody? Last year they had a good field goal kicker last year. They just didn't have length.
Right.
Anything beyond 48, 49, they just didn't have it. And, look, in today's football, college and NFL, you got to have that guy that can hit from 52 beyond. The NFL is – they're going crazy deep with their field goal kicking. And it's a weapon. If you've got a guy who can hit from 52 and beyond on a regular basis, that really kind of helps take a lot of pressure off your offense. Okay, we're not going to get a touchdown here, but if we can just get it down a few more yards, we're going to have a decent shot at 3 because this guy's got a leg and he can hit it. So South Carolina, amongst all these place kickers, and they brought in some free agents, and they've got some high school guys, they got to see if they got somebody who can hit it deep. They need somebody who can drive it long.
Clemson has that. There's no question Clemson's in pretty good position with regards to their place kicking. That's another issue here at Coastal, too. They've had their punter and also their place kicker not with the team now moving forward. They're no longer, after kicking very well last year, Sebafundi was their punter, and he's not with the team this year, and they've lost some guys from graduation on the place kicking side as well. So they're looking at their kicking position just as much as, well, maybe not quite as much, but certainly in the mix with regards to their quarterbacks too.
All right, we got a busy show for you. We're going to take an early break here in just a couple of minutes. And Jeff Owens will be first up tonight. We had to kind of rearrange some things to get everybody in because of the schedule of the football coach and the players, because they'll be joining us at 7:05 and 7:20 respectively. So obviously Jeff is normally on with us talking NASCAR at 7:20. We'll bump him up an hour. We'll have him at 6:20. 6:35, Clemson baseball coach Eric Bakich will be with us to talk about things in his program. First time he's talked to the media since I think since the end of the season.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, of course, he lost Coach Schnabel yesterday, who's gone into retirement. He got Aiden Canuck back. Didn't see that happening. So a couple of things you didn't see happening a few weeks ago have happened for Clemson. He'll be joining us. And then 7:35, great edition of Birdies and Bogeys tonight with George and Larry, as we are going to be joined by Roger Warren. Roger Warren, who'll be retiring as the president of Kiowa Island Golf Resort at the end of this year. And he is a man who has meant so much to golf in South Carolina.
No question.
And had a big role in Kiowa landing those 2 PGA championships. So it's going to be an honor and a pleasure to have Mr. Warren on with us tonight. Birdies and Bogeys on turf here on Sports Talk at 7:35.
Is he too young to have been involved with the Ryder Cup when it was at Kiowa?
I don't think so. I think he was. My guess is I think he was there for all of that.
Well,
yeah,
I forgot about
the Ryder Cup. Yeah.
Talk about some huge events. And by the way, speaking of Clemson baseball, something else we can chat with Coach Bakich about. Jackson Castellano of the Post and Courier tweeting out here just a couple of moments ago, Clemson's fall schedule. They are going to be here October the 10th to take on Coastal, and then October the 11th, they're also going to be here in Myrtle Beach to face East Carolina. And then this is interesting. They've got a November Halloween night, I'm assuming probably Halloween afternoon, and then a November 1st matchup with Georgia Tech in the fall.
How about that?
Home and away. So that's kind of interesting that you would face a conference rival in the fall.
So football coaches are going, wait a minute. Basketball teams can have scrimmages against other basketball teams.
Go overseas.
Baseball teams can play 4 games against other opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Softball teams can do the same thing. We can't do anything in the spring but play each other.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. I guarantee you they're going to change that.
I think it makes a lot of sense to be able to do a spring scrimmage against, from Clemson and Coastals and maybe South Carolina's perspective. Square off an FCS opponent. Bring Furman to Columbia and let them play a spring scrimmage. Mm-hmm. I think, and you'd make a bunch of money, and you could split it and send it to both teams NIL.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A couple of other news notes for you this afternoon. If you haven't heard the news, South Carolina women will not have Maddie McDaniel back on the basketball team. The guard who announced in July that she planned to step away to focus on her mental and emotional health. The university announced today that she has decided to leave, withdraw from school, and will not return to Dawn Staley's team. Staley said, quote, "We respect Maddie's decision in July, respected the decision in July. We continue to do that in this next step. She's been a valued part of our program's success. She and her family will always be part of the Gamecock family. We wish her all the best as she chooses her future moves on and off the basketball court." Played in 63 games in 2 years with the Gamecocks, exclusively off the bench, averaged about 4 points and 2 assists per game. So quality player either off the bench or competing as a starter. So will their depth be tested here, or do they have enough? I don't know the roster off the top of my head, but they're pretty deep anyway.
In the backcourt, though, it might be an issue. But, yeah, up front, especially considering they're getting Chloe Kitts back. Watkins back.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be.
They should be fine along their front line.
Their front court will be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
absolutely
they
ridiculous.
should be just fine.
Now they got another. I think it's another. It's a McDowell that's coming in. They got a freshman McDowell, right? Who's supposed to be one of the best players in the country among the girls, high school girls. I think they've got her coming in, so that might help offset this departure. By the way, we didn't mention this last night, but saw the news earlier this week that former Marlboro County star and a standout at NC State, Cozell McQueen, passed away.
I did not realize he had played at Marlboro County. I remember him vividly at NC State. Thought he was a terrific player, but yeah, that was sad news packed on to what has been a sad week all the way around.
He uttered one of the great comments of all time, you know.
I don't doubt that.
Cozell, of course, if you don't know Marlboro County, it's near the North Carolina line. It's probably about 80 miles from Raleigh. It's not all that far from Raleigh,
right?
From there, from that part of the state. He was asked, well, why did you decide to go to NC State? Because, you know, South Carolina, Clemson, everybody around here recruited him. Why did you decide to go to NC State? His answer was, I wanted to go up north for college.
Yep.
I wanted to go up north. Okay. Well, 80-mile drive right up through Pinehurst.
He wasn't wrong, though.
You take US 1. You go up US 1. You go through Cheraw. You make a left, and you cross into North Carolina. It's a fun little ride. I used to all the time go to Raleigh and Chapel Hill that way to cover basketball and football games. If you weren't aware of this, oh, by the way, another death, Norris Brown from Lawrence, who was a tight end on the Georgia national championship team, the one in 2001, he passed away at the age of 65. He's passed away. So I tell you what, before we go any deeper, let's go ahead and hit the break because I want to get Jeff Owens on in plenty of time to set the stage for NASCAR this weekend. And then we'll have Coach Eric Bakich with us, 6:35. Lots to talk about there with him. Then 7:05, the shots will be here. And then 7:35, it will be Birdies and Bogeys with Roger Warren joining us. In between all that, we'll work in some recruiting information as well. All right? It's finally Friday here on Sports Talk. Glad to be with you.
Earned history. Chased glory. Lived consequences. 500 miles against the Lady in Black. A NASCAR Crown Jewel Too Tough to Tame Labor Day Weekend Classic. The Cookout Southern 500. The chase for the next NASCAR Cup Series champion starts here. The NASCAR Chase Weekend at Darlington Raceway, September 5th through 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
This is Major Billy Downer with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Boating season is here, and as you get ready to go out on the water this spring and summer, make sure you have all the required safety equipment on board. Check for a sound device. A horn or whistle will suffice for most boats. Inspect all of your life jackets. Make sure they're in good condition and are the correct size for all of your passengers. If your boat is over 16 feet, you will need to make sure you have an approved throwable device on board as well. Remember, boating safety is no accident.
Looking for thrills? Then welcome to the South Carolina Education Lottery, where excitement's the name of the game, and every chance at a win...
Just one more. Come on, so close.
...comes with a chance of a whiff.
Well, no biggie.
Nicely done. You handled it like a pro. Because when the stakes start getting too real and you find yourself playing for more than fun, it might be time to take a break.
Good point.
Playing for fun makes you a better player, and a better player is a better you. Learn more at SCEducationLottery.com.
Gas prices might be high, but your auto loan rate doesn't have to be. Beat your current auto loan rate by 2% when you refinance with Founders Federal Credit Union. Plus, make no payments for up to 90 days. That's right, save money with a great rate and make no payments for up to 90 days. Let a Founders representative be your trusted advisor to help make the refinance process quick and easy. Don't forget to ask for a free auto insurance quote to protect your purchase. Founders also offers mechanical breakdown protection that's competitive with most warranty plans available at dealerships. Stop by an office or apply on the Founders app today. To learn more, visit foundersfcu.com/auto. Not a Founders member yet? Visit the Founders website to see if you qualify for membership. For additional cost information, call us toll-free 800-845-1614. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm the best there is, plain and simple, and nobody can hang with my stuff. If you ain't first, you're last.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops, God bless America, and gentlemen, Start your engine!
Love it when it's four wide. Love it when it's fast. Love it when the leader's caught. The pack is moving.
All right, time to talk NASCAR here on Sports Talk on this Friday night as the NASCAR scene after a weekend off returns, and they are in the cornfields of Iowa. Let's welcome in Jeff Owens in the fast lane once again. Well, it's a good place to be if you're NASCAR out in Iowa, out in the cornfields, because you can't make racing fuel without corn, right?
That's right. We used to have
a form of racing fuel.
Yeah, we used to have a sponsor named after that, some sort of ethanol that used to sponsor some races. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, good place for NASCAR, especially in the Midwest. I mean, big racing area out there, a lot of Midwestern racing fans. We've got a lot of drivers who have come from the Midwest. Keselowski, Matt Kenseth, a whole host of them, Ryan Blaney from out there. So it's a good place for NASCAR to be. And this has been a great track. I mean, they ran the Busch Series or the Xfinity Series there for years before we went Cup racing. But we've only had 2 Cup races, but they've been pretty good. And I think this is a place that's going to stick around. I think this is a good track and a good area of the country for them to be in.
This is a racetrack that was designed by Rusty Wallace.
Yeah,
and he modeled it after Richmond. It's only a 7/8 of a mile, 0.875. I mean, that's a very odd length. I mean, why not just go the extra mile and make it a mile?
I think they were trying to keep that short track feel to it, and it is a lot like Richmond. It's almost the same length and size as Richmond. Races a little bit like Richmond. I would say it's kind of a cross between Richmond and Phoenix a little bit faster than Richmond maybe, but trying to keep that short track feel. It's one of those tracks that's sort of a hybrid. It's not Martinsville and Bristol, but it's kind of, it's not a big speedway either. It's kind of in between like Richmond, New Hampshire. I would compare it a little bit to New Hampshire and certainly Phoenix, but good wide racetrack that kind of races a little bit like a short track, and they've put on some good races there.
Anything to the turns? I know they repaved the turns about 2 years ago. All the turns pretty flat, or is there some banking in there?
A little bit of banking, but not much. It's relatively flat, and the key is getting your car to go through those turns. And I've heard this week drivers talk about some of them will use a little bit of braking to slow down and get through those turns. Other drivers like to just throttle off and roll through the corner. And but being able to go through those turns, whether you're hugging the bottom or going high, that's the key. Getting your car to work through those turns and then really get off the X of those corners and down the straightaway. But we'll see some good side-by-side racing. You'll see them fan out a little bit and go 3 wide, and I think we should have a lot of passing, and this should be a good race, I think.
Mm-hmm. The fans lane with Jeff Owens here tonight on Sports Talk. And Jeff, I'm quick to criticize NASCAR when they do stupid things, but I think probably I need to give them credit when common sense plays in. The new situation with regards to the stage breaks, and if there is a crash or an accident right before the end of the stage, that is actually now going to constitute the end of the stage. That seems to me to make a lot of sense instead of the extra caution flag that you would have normally at the stage.
Yeah, and you're right, Chris. I give NASCAR a lot of credit for this. We do beat them up a lot, and they deserve it a lot.
Agreed.
But this is one they got right, I think. We had a situation at Indy last week where you had 2 caution flags late in stages. So it slowed the race down. Then we have to have another restart, and then we get to the end of the stage, and you have to have another caution. So we wound up having a couple of cautions within a few laps, and that happened twice. And basically what it did is it robbed fans of some green flag racing, and it, jumbled up the field, and it was a couple of caution flags that were just unnecessary. So the fans were pretty vocal about that, and for one of the rare times in its history, they actually listened to them, and they went and implemented this rule. And I think it's good. I think this is they've done things like this over the year. They brought in the lucky dog to help cars get back on the lead lap, and this one's kind of a little bit like slowing the field to come to caution instead of racing back to the flag, that sort of thing. So a good move by them. Fans aren't huge fans of the stages anyway, so it'll see how that plays out, and maybe it also takes a little bit of this fuel mileage strategy out of it too to make the racing a little bit better. So good. I think it's a good move by NASCAR, certainly.
Jeff, we are starting to see some of the schedule dates leak out for next year. And, August 28th, the one with the Daytona International Speedway having its Coke 400, I start to wonder, because the season's going to start a little bit later because of the Super Bowl, are we looking at a situation, do you think, next year that the Southern 500 actually might not be in the playoff?
Well, I do think they've set a precedent for shaking things up in those playoffs, and it could. We'll see. I do know they liked having Darlington right in there. You need to have Darlington to stay around that September, August date in there to keep the Southern 500. I hope they keep that, and that seems like now, you want to keep it Labor Day like it's always been, and it opens the chase. So hopefully they keep that. We'll see. They've shaken things up a little bit, but the one I really like is taking the Clash back to Daytona. I think that's a brilliant move. They messed that thing up, moving it all around the country to L.A. and Bowman Gray and all that. Taking it back where it belongs, I love that.
Who you like this weekend?
Well, we've only had a couple of races there, and, Ryan Blaney dominated the first one. William Byron led a lot of laps last year. Byron hadn't run that well this year, so it'll be interesting if he can get it back on track at a track he's won at. I like Blaney, but also you got to keep, you think about Richmond, you think about Denny Ham, one of those Toyotas. Chase Briscoe almost ran Byron down to win the race last year. The way things are going right now, you got to give a nod to those Toyotas. I think Briscoe, Denny Hamlin's really good at Richmond. I think those are probably two guys to watch. But, Blaney, this is a big race for Blaney because he's from out in the Midwest. I'd keep an eye on him, too.
Hey, now you get to go have dinner with the fam.
Hey, I love these. You always love these early start times.
Early start times.
Flag is good.
Hey, man, thank you, Jeff.
Thanks,
you
Jeff.
have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week. Jeff Owens in the fast lane here on Sports Talk as the racing goes to Iowa. Coming back with Eric Bakich.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's your weekend forecast. We'll have some showers tonight, probably ending by midnight. The low dips down to 73. Tomorrow's just like today, 92 again the high. A blend of sunshine and clouds, some possible afternoon and early evening downpours. And it's more the same for Sunday. 93 is our high temperature. Have a great weekend. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Earned history. Chased glory. Lived consequences. 500 miles against the Lady in Black. A NASCAR Crown Jewel Too Tough to Tame Labor Day Weekend Classic. The Cookout Southern 500. The chase for the next NASCAR Cup Series champion starts here. The NASCAR Chase Weekend at Darlington Raceway, September 5th through 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy said Friday he'll back Todd Blanche's nomination as Attorney General, likely paving the way for Blanche to be confirmed to lead President Trump's Justice Department. Blanche's prospective confirmation appeared threatened earlier Friday when Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski announced her opposition. The Senate has approved a punishing Russian sanctions bill that was a top priority for the late Senator Lindsey Graham. Passage of the package Friday signals renewed bipartisan support for Ukraine as the war drags on. The legislation would penalize countries that continue to buy Russian oil, gas, and other exports. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 151 points. The Nasdaq rose 342. The S&P advanced 47. More details at srnnews.com.
So Bergen Roofing was recently asked to come in and make heads and tails of a previous roofing quote by an 80-year-old homeowner. I actually saw the other company's quote. I couldn't figure out the pricing. Even Stuart couldn't figure out the pricing. There were numbers all over the paper. If I was overwhelmed, I could understand why they asked for Stuart's help. And yes, the other company was owned by an out-of-state private equity group. With Bergen, you don't get a high-pressure sales presentation. You get a local roofing expert who sits down at your kitchen table, answers every question, and explains exactly what your roof needs and what it doesn't need. No confusing add-ons, no inflated pricing, no corporate sales tactics, just honest recommendations, quality materials, skilled workmanship, and a fair price from a company that puts homeowners first. You may discover that the best roof isn't the most expensive one, it's the one installed by people you can trust. So, before you sign a roofing contract, call Bergen 798-ROOF. That's 798-ROOF. That's the Bergen difference, and that's why they're known as your neighborhood roofer.
The only choice for South Carolina.
His name is Russell Fry. Russell Fry. Russell Fry.
Proven leader, Trump supporter, conservative warrior.
Russell is a conservative warrior who will give no quarter to the socialist left.
Russell Fry is an America First patriot who will never let you down.
Russell, you've been incredible, doing a great job.
Running for the U.S. Senate to put South Carolina first. Vote for Russell Fry on August 11th.
Russell Fry for Senate.
I grew up in a working class family in a cinder block house with no heat or air conditioning. I know what it's like when every dollar matters. Washington keeps doing things the same old way, while South Carolina families pay the price. It's time for a new generation of conservative leadership, fresh energy, proven results, and a fighter who will make life more affordable. I'm Russell Fry, and I approve this message because I'll stand with President Trump, fight for South Carolina families, and actually get results.
Paid for by Russell Fry for Senate.
If you've never had genuine Wagyu or Hereford steaks and burgers, you don't know what you're missing. Time to order the best of the best from HandJCattle.com. These are local farmers in Saluda where tradition meets quality. The best quality beef and a discount for Point listeners. Enter keyword The Point as one word and get 10% off, plus free delivery in Lexington and Richland County orders of $50 or more. It's cooked in season over at HandJCattle.com.
South Carolina summers are hot and humid and hard on your air conditioner. When your home stops feeling comfortable, call Sweet Comfort Services. We're family owned and operated with over 30 years of heating and air experience. From service and maintenance to complete system replacement, we're here to keep your family cool. We'll even meet or beat any quote from a licensed competitor. Schedule your appointment online at sweethvac.com or call 803-331-8143. Sweet Comfort Services, comfort you can count on.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network. We are at Coastal Carolina for the beginning of the Palmetto Pigskin Tour for 2026. We'll be visiting with the Shants, but appropriately enough for right now, Chris Bergen, we are in not the football press box because they're having practice in the stadium and they did not want our evil eyes on the football team. We're in the baseball press box, and we're looking out here over the beautiful ballpark here at Springs Brooks Stadium, Vrooman Field, that has hosted a big baseball game in recent years and will be hosting many, many more in the years to come, including the team coached by our next guest coming in for a fall exhibition, and they'll play again, of course, in the regular season. Let's welcome back into Sports Talk for the wrap-up of the season and kind of look ahead to 2027, Coach Eric Bakich. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, Phil. How you doing? Good to be on, as always.
Good to have you with us. Hope you've had a little bit of a time to have a vacation. I know it's for baseball coaches, you go right from the season into recruiting, into the free agent market, into the draft. Then you kind of figure out who you got coming back, who you've lost. I guess the good news is a sweet surprise, the news, of course, from Aiden Canuck that he's coming back for another year. You couldn't have seen that happening, I guess, maybe a month ago.
Yeah, there's no vacations in the summer for baseball coaches, so we take vacations, get married, have kids all in the month of December. So
well, which one did you do?
We did all of them in that of the month, so that's it. Yeah, no, nothing in the summer. The summer's busier than the spring, believe it or not. So,
Yeah.
But yes, we are thrilled to have Aiden back. He headlines a group of returning players that we did not think we were going to get back. We put Jaron Purify, Tristan McClatty, Luke Gaffney all in that mix as well. So excited about the guys coming back, excited about the guys coming in, and really appreciative of Graham Neff giving us the firepower to be able to make that happen.
It was a tough year for you, tough year for your team, for you personally, looking at things, examining the good, the bad, and the ugly. What'd you come away with from your self-examination of this past season?
Yeah, I think the biggest changes start with myself, and at the time I thought I was doing what was best for the program, with trying to put a lot of energy into increasing attendance, increasing revenues, finding ways to help our players earn some money outside of traditional ways and above the cap NIL dollars, and the things that associated with that, concerts and carnivals and Instagram and you name it. And it seemed well intended. It seemed like that was the right thing to do, and just in hindsight and moving forward, this is going to be just not really any energy in that direction. It's going to be all about standards and culture and coaching and classroom, and just really, really locking in on more year one type philosophies of just taking nothing for granted, assuming nothing, and just really enforcing the standards of our program that have been led to a lot of success in the past, and doubling down on those.
I'm not there, so I don't know anything. I'm just sort of listening to you and kind of having a question in my mind. Do you think maybe you lost a little bit of an edge as a coach, as you got involved with some things maybe away from everything about coaching baseball and working with the players? You got involved in all these other things. You think maybe you lost a little bit of the edge, got a little soft maybe, you think?
Phil, those are fighting words, brother. Don't be calling me soft. I don't care if we're on the radio.
I said I wasn't there. I said I wasn't there.
Right. Yeah, you're lucky you ain't here, baby. Come on. Don't be... I would say this. I say coaches get involved in things all the time. They get involved in committees. They get involved in, whatever. And it's not that I lost an edge. I just, was putting my energy and the edge that I have with the energy that I have into the, maybe what looks to be now like the wrong place. And so whether it was the wrong place or not the wrong place, I'm just telling you, moving forward, all of my energy, 100% of my energy, is going into upholding the standards of our program, building the culture that we want to have, which includes how we play and how we perform and how we win, in addition to, the championship standards that we want to have and play with. So it's not that it was, a lack of an edge. I can just tell you that there's just a big chip right now of just being very lasered in on making sure Clemson plays Clemson baseball like we know we're capable of and did not show last year.
So your incoming group, the free agents, the high school guys, who are a few guys that you took in this group that you think will have a chance to come in and shine immediately and give you an extra boost?
I think that's to be determined, because we've anointed guys out of the portal in the past and they haven't done a damn thing. So, it's going to be all earned. I mean, even guys like Jaron Purify, Tristan McClatty, Luke Gaffney, Aiden Canuck, the guys we just talked about, they may be penciled in as returning starters, but they're coming in with the expectation that they got to earn their starting job. Even though I think we all know they're going to be penciled in as starters, that's not the mentality that they're taking. That's not the mentality our coaching staff is going to have. So if they're taking that right mentality, then you can better believe the portal guys and the freshmen are coming in with something to prove as well. And I already met with the freshmen. I told them to shut their mouth and let all their performance do the talking. Their actions are going to speak the loudest. So we do have some star talent and some future really good Clemson players in the pipeline. I'm excited to see how they perform. But it's going to be all performance-based. It's going to be a total meritocracy, and I'm going into this fall. We're going to play a lot of baseball. We're going to compete really hard. We're going to challenge these guys and push their limits, and I'm excited to see, what it looks like coming out of fall camp.
Well, based on what I'm hearing right here, you definitely got your edge.
Omaha, baby.
I don't think there's any doubt. You definitely got the edge. I'm not questioning that. No, sir.
Eric Backus joins us tonight, head baseball coach at Clemson. Coach, let me see if I can play good cop since Phil's taking the bad cop role here for a few minutes. You talked about Aiden Canuck, and I think you'd probably be the first one, if he's not the first one, to admit he did not have a typical Aiden Canuck season. Was there anything you guys saw in him last year in terms of his mechanics or just what he was doing on the mound that maybe wasn't what he was doing his freshman and sophomore years, and you're going to hope to sort of refine here before the upcoming spring?
I think pitchers naturally tend to look at their pitch shapes and how their pitches are moving, and there were certainly a couple of, if you were really getting in the nitty-gritty of the movement profile of his fastball and the slider that was moving more like a cutter, you could certainly look at that. But you could also look at, he got really unlucky, and his actual, strikeouts to walks, his FIP, the way he pitched, and then the lack of run support and poor defense behind him, I think that contributed to a lot of the lack of success as much as anything. So putting a run-scoring offense, a damage and chaos offense on the field, really solidifying our defense, and then, him coming back with a chip on his shoulder as well, I think that bodes well for Team 130 in 2027. But he's an elite pitcher, and he really did get very unlucky last year, and that combined with, some pitches that maybe didn't perform as well as others in the past could have contributed to it. But I like what I'm hearing and seeing out of Aiden Canuck so far this summer.
Was the Nick Schnabel news, was that news to you guys, or is that something you've been talking about for months leading up to him stepping away from the program, and how do you plan to maybe reshuffle your coaching staff?
Yeah, no, that was 100% Coach Schnabel's decision, and that was something it's a big decision. So I know that was something that he and his family were talking about, I'm sure, for a while. But no, that wasn't something that he and I were talking about. But he's got a great opportunity. He's starting his own business, a recruiting consulting business, and I said this in a media event earlier today. But if you're a high school kid and looking to need help navigating the recruiting process, and you're a senior that's still uncommitted, you're a junior, maybe you didn't get the calls you wanted to get on August 1st, or you're a freshman or sophomore just starting your recruiting journey, somebody like Nick Schnabel with the career and the resume and the credentials that he has, it'd be crazy not to reach out to him and help with that process. So I know he's looking forward to that chapter, the opportunity to spend more time with his family. I think all those things weighed into it, but I don't want to speak for him. But yeah, now here we are, and we got some big shoes to fill, and we're going to cast a wide net and look everywhere from the big leagues all the way down. And I'm going to go slow. I'm going to find the right guy, find a specialist either on the offensive or defensive side of the ball, or both. And I'm fully inserting myself back into the coaching roles as well on offense and defense, more so than I probably ever have since Michigan. And I'm really looking forward to that, but also looking for another guy to join our staff and be a value add to our staff, our culture, our team.
Visiting with Clemson baseball coach Eric Backus for a few more minutes. What about overall health of your guys? Anybody dealing with any surgeries, injuries that will sideline them for the fall, maybe for the season? Anything been determined like that?
No, nothing like that right now. I mean, we always have bumps, bruises, aches and pains, but nothing major that's keeping guys out for an extended period of time as of right now.
Do you pitch Canuck in the fall like you normally would, or because of who he is, does he get any kind of a little bit of a break?
No, I think we're going to go full tilt, and we'll be smart, and we'll manage him and manage all of our pitchers well, but we got to build these guys up. And we need to play a lot of baseball this fall. We need to assume that we got to reteach how to win at Clemson and how to train to develop, not to just train to get better at training, but to train to perform on the field and on the field to win games and win championships. And so we need to play a lot of baseball to reestablish that. And our pitchers need to build up and they need to ramp up. And so we'll be smart. We're certainly not going to overdo it, especially with guys like Aiden, but everybody's going to be pitching.
Sure.
Coach, you talked about playing a lot of baseball in the fall. You guys announced earlier today, I guess, your fall schedule, and that includes coming down here where we are to face Coastal Carolina and also East Carolina and Myrtle Beach. But I think Phil and I were interested in the Halloween November 1st matchups with ACC rival Georgia Tech. How did that come about?
Yeah, absolutely. So the folks at Peak Events that put on some great tournaments around the country had reached out, and so they were wanting to put on an event in Myrtle Beach at the Pro Park, and so we were able to work it out with Coastal and ECU to play October 10th and 11th in Myrtle Beach. And then we had, the new rule, the legislation changed that allowed all of college Division I baseball to go from 2 fall games to 4. So now here we all are as coaches, needing 2 more games. And we don't play Georgia Tech this year, and I've been extremely impressed with James Ramsey and the offense that they run and the program that that they have. And always Georgia Tech has been a juggernaut, but just the way he stepped in year one and really engineered one of the most prolific offenses in college baseball history. And so to be able to play them in the fall, since we'll miss them in the spring, I thought was a great opportunity. And so I reached out to James, and he had 2 games available, and we were able to work it out. So we're excited about that.
That sounds fantastic. Anything you can tell us about the regular season schedule, some of the non-conference teams besides South Carolina and Coastal? Anybody else, maybe some new teams popping up on the schedule?
Yeah, for sure. We're obviously opening up at Globe Life Field, and we'll open the season against the University of Texas Omaha team, and then game 2 against Oklahoma, defending national champ, and then game 3 against Arizona. So we'll be right in the fire. It's it's going to be great. I mean, at that venue against those teams, and then attach the Shriners Children's Hospital component to it, and to be able to do the community outreach and pour into some of those kids, I think it just makes that trip, that event, a no-brainer. So we're excited about that, and we'll be home the next week after that. Then we have the South Carolina weekend, and we'll be home the weekend after that as well. So we'll have a very good schedule, as we always do. But to know that, in our first 3 weekends, we got 5 games against the SEC. I'd say we're challenging ourselves early at a very high level.
Absolutely. The South Carolina weekend will be, what's the rotation this year? Starts at your place?
Yep, we'll go Clemson, Floor Field, and then at Founders Park.
At Founders Park. All right. Oh, your thoughts on a couple of things since we last talked to you. Kevin Schnall, now at South Carolina, and Monty Lee joining Chad Holbrook down at the College of Charleston.
Yeah, I'm excited for all of it. Known those guys a long time. So Coach Schnall will do a fantastic job. Obviously, he did a fantastic job leading Coastal to play for a national championship a couple years ago. But the one thing you knew playing a Kevin Schnall coach team, that they had an identity, and that always respected that the offensive identity when you played Coastal and the type of play and what you could expect. It was always a challenge. So I'm excited for him and continue to believe that college baseball is best, and college baseball's best rivalry is best when Clemson and South Carolina are 2 of the top programs in all of the country. So that's what we're aspiring to, and I know he is as well. Both have Omaha aspirations and lofty goals, and so it'll be an exciting matchup. And like I've said since day one, we will respect this rivalry as high as we possibly can and put a lot of energy into it all year long, not just the week we play them. Excited for Monty and the opportunity to go back home for him, and kind of where things started for him and where he's a Hall of Famer at his alma mater, and just to see what he can do there and continue to boost that program. And then where you guys are right now, excited for Chris Lemonis to get back into college baseball. And Lemo came and spent a weekend with us last fall, spoke to our team, hung out with us. Obviously, Jimmy Bellinger, our pitching coach, played for Lemo when he was at Louisville. So we all are big fans of Chris Lemonis and know he's going to do a fantastic job at Coastal.
Yeah, he's fired up. He's already out here running some 60s, so he's ready for you. He's getting ready.
Well, good. I'll take that race any day.
You're feisty, man. I don't want to be anywhere near you. Coach, we thank you as always. Enjoy whatever you got coming up the rest of the summer. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Talk soon.
Thank you very much. Okay. Coach Eric Backish, don't ever Don't
call him soft.
Call him
what
soft.
were you thinking? I'm glad we're not in person. I had to do the rest of the show by myself. While Phil got some athletic training treatment.
I might be eating a big old fist right now. Wow.
They have some ice at Coastal, right?
Yeah, they do. How dumb, though, is the ACC? How do you not schedule Clemson, Georgia Tech in baseball?
Yeah, really. It's great rivalry.
Yeah.
Two of the best programs in the league.
Defending ACC champs.
85 miles apart.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Thanks to Coach Backish for being with us. We'll come back with recruiting in a moment.
Major Billy Downer here from the Department of Natural Resources, and DNR is excited to announce the implementation of Go Outdoors SC, a new online licensing and boat titling system that you can access right from your phone. Through this new system, customers can purchase their hunting and fishing licenses, renew their boats, apply for lottery hunt opportunities, and complete electronic harvest reporting requirements. For more information, visit Go Outdoors SC at your local app store.
Earned history, chased glory, lived consequences. 500 miles against the Lady in Black. A NASCAR Crown Jewel Too Tough to Tame Labor Day Weekend Classic. The Cookout Southern 500. The chase for the next NASCAR Cup Series champion starts here. The NASCAR Chase Weekend at Darlington Raceway, September 5th through 6th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. I'm not a case manager. I'm a lawyer for over 35 years. I don't charge 40% for your injury in your wreck case or any on-the-job injury. Call 803-765-2968 and ask for Jim Corbett, or email me, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com, for the experience of a lawyer handling your injury case. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968. jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. Put 35 years of experience to work on your injury case.
Effective training is not just about lifting heavier weight. It is about producing force with control. The Tsunami Bar was developed in 2012 to enhance high-intensity workouts while helping reduce joint stress. Its flexible design creates controlled oscillation, requiring your muscles to stabilize and work together throughout each movement. This promotes greater muscle activation, improved balance, and stronger functional performance. Tsunami Bar Sports is committed to continuous improvement, delivering dynamic training tools for individuals at every fitness level. Whether you are focused on long-term strength, injury prevention, or improving rotational stability for sports like golf, Tsunami Bar training supports total body performance. Discover more at tsunamibarsports.com. Visit tsunamibarsports.com. That's tsunamibarsports.com.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Okay, time for recruiting here tonight on Sports Talk as we head into the weekend. It is brought to you by our good friends over at Seawells, SeawellsCatering.com. Of course, their new location inside the State Fairgrounds, and they are ready to host your big event, bigger and better than ever. That is Seawells, as they're in the neighborhood of 80 years of providing the state of South Carolina with the best in the catering business. Try it out for yourself. Give them a call at 803-771-7385, online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. Wide receiver Jordan Gorham, 6'5", 185. He figured to be one of the state's top prospects in the 2028 class while he was at Timberland. Earlier this summer, he made the decision to transfer to IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. Now he's working to become one of the top receivers in Florida as well as on the national stage. He told us it's been a big learning curve. It's like college right now. It's like getting prepared for college. He says the coaches there have already started to work with him on how to make better use of his size advantage. He's 6'5" and plays in the slot, and so they want him to use that 6'5" body to his advantage. Receiver coaches at USC and Clemson, Mike Furrey, Tyler Grisham, respectively, have made it clear to Gorham that he would be an asset to their teams. He's had a lot of involvement over the years with both programs, and his interest in the in-state programs here in South Carolina, that's not dropped off despite his departure for the Sunshine State. He tells us he hears from Furrey almost every day, hears from the staff a lot, shows his family a lot of love. It'd be very cool, he said, to go back home and play. Definitely loves South Carolina. He has camped at South Carolina. He's also made it to 3 home games last season, back for more this season. Also planning games at Clemson, Missouri, Louisville, Florida, Florida State. He's been a regular visitor to Clemson. He camped there since the 8th grade, and he visited last season for the Syracuse game. He just needs the Tigers to make that offer to kind of elevate them in his overall picture. He's still talking to Grisham a lot right now. At least they don't talk all that often, maybe once a month, but he is supposed to hear from him soon, and he's hoping that that will be a conversation that leads to maybe an offer. Really likes Clemson. They show a lot of love. And, of course, he knows about their history with receivers like Hopkins, Higgins, and now Wesco coming out. He also has offers from Georgia, Colorado State, Louisville, Memphis, UCF, Arkansas, USF, Wake Forest, Kentucky, Duke, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Florida, Florida State, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, Nebraska, Virginia Tech, and others. South Carolina target quarterback Anthony Turner being predicted by rivals, I think it's Chad Simmons, to commit to Virginia Tech. And former Clemson forward Chauncey Wiggins is on the move again. He's moving from Florida State to Gonzaga, going out to be with the Zags. And Clemson target 6'4" Justin Wise from Georgia, committed today to Georgia. Texas, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Miami, and Clemson were the other ones in on him, the strongest.
Got one more for you from Teal's syndicate. Former Coastal Carolina quarterback Samari Collier has committed to Delaware State. According to his Instagram, he was recently granted that 5th year of eligibility after filing an injunction to play this year.
All right. Too bad the Shants didn't really get a chance to see what he could do.
Right. No, you're right. Injury.
And the Shants will join us after the break.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The Senate has passed a new Russian sanctions bill.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer pointed out this is the work of the late Senator Lindsey Graham.
The Russian sanction bill will make it clear to Moscow that America will back Ukraine to the hilt.
Graham's sister, Darlene, now holds his seat in the Senate.
This legislation hits Putin where it hurts.
The bipartisan bill would penalize countries that continue to buy Russian oil, gas, and other exports to deprive President Vladimir Putin of revenues fueling the war. It comes after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the Capitol hours after Lindsey Graham's funeral. Ed Donahue, Washington.
The clock is ticking this Friday on Capitol Hill as senators look to wrap up a list of line items.
Before senators head home for the next 5 weeks, they're trying to get things done on Capitol Hill. One of the top priorities of the president, getting the Save America Act across the finish line. Also a top priority, getting Todd Blanche approved as Attorney General. Alaska's Lisa Murkowski saying she will not be voting for him, but Louisiana's Bill Cassidy says he is a yes. If confirmed, one of Blanche's first decisions will be whether to prosecute former NIH Director Anthony Fauci.
That's correspondent Laura Winters reporting. Pakistan, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia have signed a mutual defense agreement. The deal means an armed attack on one is considered an attack on all. It was signed Friday during a meeting in Saudi Arabia. The agreement aims to strengthen collective deterrence against aggression. Meanwhile, Iran-backed Houthi rebels have increased attacks on Saudi-linked targets. On Wall Street, a good day as the Dow was up by 151 points. The Nasdaq rose 342. The S&P 500 advanced 47. More at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of year-long contracts and pointless restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule and at your convenience. With CHM, you're paying half the cost of a traditional health insurance plan. So that puts more money back into your budget for everyday needs. Plus, you'll have access to CHM's care solutions for virtual appointments, prescription savings, surgery support, and more. My family and I joined in 2018, and it's changed our lives for the better. We love paying way less while helping other believers afford their medical bills. Take the leap of faith and see why Christians across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
The Federal Aviation Administration has ordered inspections for hundreds of Boeing planes.
This follows reports of cracks in some older models. The rule applies to certain Boeing 737 MAX models and takes effect September 10th. The FAA estimates this covers 471 planes. So far, no cracks have been found in these specific MAX models. However, the FAA received reports of cracks in older 737 planes. Boeing says it has been working with operators on this issue for 6 years and has already initiated its own inspections. The company supports the FAA's latest directive. John Scott reporting.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement is moving to equip officers with body cameras in the next 2 months, but the public should not expect to quickly see footage of every critical incident.
The guys
News
had to
and
leave.
analysis at townhall.com. From Washington,
Was that because of the hurricane?
Yep.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's your weekend forecast. We'll have some showers tonight, probably ending by midnight. The low dips down to 73. Tomorrow is just like today, 92 again the high. A blend of sunshine and clouds, some possible afternoon and early evening downpours. And it's more the same for Sunday. 93 is our high temperature. Have a great weekend. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Okay, we're back on Sports Talk here on the Sports Talk Media Network. More importantly, tonight we're on the Palmetto Pigskin Tour. For the first time in 2027, we continue to have this tradition in Sports Talk 2026. Yeah.
Close. Coach hasn't been here that long.
I'm always looking ahead.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm always planning ahead. No, I was going to say it's been like 27 years or 30 years we've been doing the Palmetto Pigskin Tour, and so tonight we are, for the first time, we're starting at Coastal Carolina. So it's good to be here with Coach Ryan Beard and a couple of players. They'll be joining us in just a little bit, but let's welcome in for the first time on the Palmetto Pigskin Tour, but not your first time on Sports Talk. You're becoming a veteran.
That's right. I'm thankful to be here every single time, and I don't think there's a better place to start your tour than right here at Coastal Carolina.
Correct. We're glad to be here.
Absolutely.
How's practice gone so far? What, 3 days in the books?
3 days in the books. Practice has gone really well. We were joking earlier before we got kind of on video about the weather. It hadn't rained in about 2 months, and all of a sudden we get just torrential downpours the first 2 days. Finally got some work outside, which was nice today. The guys are embracing it, man. It's an exciting time for all of them, and I spoke about it briefly in my first press conference that the reason I love the first day of camp. There's nothing that emulates the first game of the season more than that. The anxiety, the anticipation, all of those things. And you really see kind of how the players react to that sense of nerves and kind of, energy to get going. And that's exciting. They're working hard. They're doing a good job. And they're really focused on what we kind of need to do to move forward and be better every day.
All right. So We were briefed by your new sports information director, Mike Uvo, before we came in here, and he said, go ahead, ask Coach who's the starting quarterback's going to be. So blame him for asking that question. Who's the starting quarterback going to be?
I think that's always an appropriate question for the offseason. I should wear a sign that says, I do not know yet who the starting quarterback is. But I'm excited about the room. I want to start there. I think there's a ton of talent in the room. They all do a variety of good things in their own right. Not in any particular order. Trey Guerrera, from the top JUCO conference in the country, proven winner. Deuce Bailey came with us from Missouri State, has a live arm, super athletic young man, ultra talented, has won at the FBS level before. Trevor Jackson, transfer in from Arkansas, unbelievable athlete, mountain of a man for a quarterback, looks the part, can spin it. And then, honestly, I would be remiss not to talk about the freshman Osiris Lopez. He's a guy that, sometimes when you meet a young player, they have it. And they take coaching and they understand how to make progression reads and get in and out of choice runs. You don't see that very often. And to see him doing it so naturally, so young, I think he's got a spot in the hunt too.
Coach, you talked about the weather, and 2 years ago, Savon was joking about having to evacuate here and go to NC State because there was no indoor practice facility. Even though it's just been a couple of days, I mean, how much of a luxury is having somewhere you can go when the weather gets bad here on the coast?
It's crucial. I mean, any time that you can just take, call it 50 steps across the street into our beautiful indoor facility, it's a game changer because everything we do right now is about efficiency and making the most of your time. We have to get the work in, especially a group like us that has a ton of new players. I say a group like us, but nowadays in college football, it's everybody. So the quicker that you can get reps and build connection and build timing, it makes it an absolute dream come true to have our nice indoor and be able to get the work in.
You said the other day at your first press conference of preseason that you're an old-school type guy. You're looking forward to the opportunity of playing football the way it was meant to be played, putting on the pads and the like. Is that tomorrow when you go full pads, and what would that practice look like in comparison to what you've had thus far?
So we had our first shells practice today. We'll go shells again tomorrow. We're very NCAA compliant here at Coastal Carolina, so we can't actually put on the full pads until next week. Yeah, Tuesday, and we'll go live on some selected periods on Tuesday just to kind of get them in the groove, get them used to taking the guys to the ground. And it's even for offensive guys because a lot of times you sit there and you talk about toughness and physicality during practice, and it all of a sudden goes to a defensive mindset. Yes, of course, you have to tackle, but you also have to learn how to fall, learn how to, deliver a blow as a running back. We don't run out of bounds. So, again, staying in bounds, lowering your shoulder, and getting some hard extra yards is crucial as well.
Yeah, you actually mentioned that during spring because watching the spring game, you guys were tackling to the ground, and that's a rarity anymore in college football. But talking to your defensive guys in particular, they said, I've got to find out if our guys can tackle.
That's right. You have to figure out what you got. And I think that especially for us coming in as a new staff, and I'm a big believer, if you talk about it, you sure better be about it. So if you're going to talk about a physical toughness edge, you need to practice and play that way. And don't get me wrong, I think you can go overboard with it, of course, but I think we were very, very calculated in the way we handled spring, and it went really well.
You don't run out of bounds.
No.
Is that just coach speak, or do you really tell your players you do not run out of bounds?
Ask the guys. When you're on the sideline, unless it's a kill the clock situation, you put your foot in the ground and you go run through somebody's face. I mean, it's just a mentality of go get extra yards, go do what you got to do. Obviously, there's going to be times you have to run out of bounds. You're getting pushed out or again, a kill the clock situation, but we absolutely tell our running backs, our wideouts, when you catch the ball, get vertical and make somebody pay.
Do you want your quarterbacks to run out of bounds?
That's always a little different. Obviously the quarterback in our program never actually gets touched at all. So for me to sit here and try to tell you that I want him to take on a hit.
Every quarterback in America wants to come play here.
As they should. I think the quarterback is a very important position, and you can put him under pressure without beating up his body. And I think, and I firmly believe this, I've been with a bunch of great offensive minds, and they were all the same way. Your quarterback has to be treated differently, and you got to make sure that they understand. And it helps them maneuver in the pocket with, like, our pressure periods. even the understanding of knowing you're not necessarily going to get blindsided or blown up, you still can step up and maneuver in the pocket and keep your eyes down the field. That's really the training that teaches is, okay, it's practice. You're not going to get hit, so where are my openings late in these progression plays?
There's a guy who played quarterback here at Coastal Carolina. It's on your coaching staff now. Never seemed to understand that. Grayson McCall.
I love Grayson, man.
He liked your mentality now. You don't run out of bounds.
Grayson's awesome, and I got to speak on Grayson just for a minute. He's a great fit for our staff. He culturally, his vision, he wants to be a great young coach, and I think he's going to be just that.
So you've got Chad Morris at Clemson. You got Briles at South Carolina, and you got a Petrino at Coastal Carolina. I mean, that's three pretty good offensive-minded names, three offensive minds. Now we know Petrino's a younger Petrino. He's, not his dad yet, but he comes from the tree. That's pretty good for our state to have Morris, Briles, Petrino running offenses here.
Yeah, it's tremendously impressive, and I think that's exciting for fans. Even if you're a fan of whatever team you are, a fan of the state, and understanding exactly the type of football we're going to bring to this great state, and we're going to let it rip.
Do you feel like you've been embraced in the state as you've gone around high schools, fans, starting to get your name out there along with the Coastal Carolina name again? Do you kind of feel like you're being embraced?
Yeah, I think it's been great. I think they've been hungry for it. Again, not to speak on the past, but we made sure when we first got here, we had our chance to get on the road. We visited almost every single high school in South Carolina, wall to wall. We made sure that we made an emphasis that, hey, listen, we want to keep our best players home. We don't want them to go anywhere else. If they're good enough, we want them to come play at Coastal Carolina. And the coaches really appreciated that because we're all about genuine relationship building, and that's another old school trait that I feel like we have in regards to they should be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, Coach Beard, man, I got this guy. He's a really good player. You need to watch him. And, just give honest feedback back and forth.
We've talked all about your offense. Are you going to have a defense this year?
Yeah.
You will have a defense.
We absolutely will have a defense, and they have been absolutely rocking so far this camp. They fly around. They've got some great leadership. I mean, you're about to talk to Savon, and there's a bunch of other guys on the team that really understand that we have a little bit of a defensive mindset. It drives the culture of every single thing we do, and the relentless pursuit, man. You can see it all over the field. Yeah.
What kind of things defensively are you installing as far as the scheme goes? You talked about the mentality, but just some of the specifics about what you want to try and do on defense.
Yeah, what'll be a little different for us visually for our fans from last year is they were basically all the time 3 down front. We're going to get into some 4 down looks. We might bounce in and out of 3 and 4 down, but primarily we'll be based out of a 4 down front. And in my humble opinion, you have to stop the run to win football games. The big time programs, they're going to run right at you, and you have to get into those advantaged 3rd down situations to actually let your pass rushers rush. The only way to do that is to win 1st and 2nd down. And 1st, 2nd down, again, we don't try to reinvent the wheel. We want to get our cleats in the ground because everybody thinks the world of tempo now. Everybody wants to go as fast as you can. Well, that's fine. We're going to give them quick, easy calls. We're going to get our feet in the ground. We're going to let them make, technical plays that they do every single day. And then on 3rd down, get spicy and heat up the quarterback.
So you're not picked real high in the Sun Belt.
Sure.
What do you think about that? What do you think about what people are thinking about your team?
Yeah, I love that. I actually think it's a great thing. I don't mind that whatsoever. We're intrinsically motivated here at Coastal Carolina football. We understand who we are, what we're about, what we believe in, and what we're going to go do. All that, the outside noise is great. It's good for the media, good for the fans to have podcasts and talking points. I think that's excellent. But trust me, I think there's a lot of belief in our organization right now for what we're going to go do, and it's time to go prove it.
What will the Chanticleer fans see from you on the sideline during a game?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a fun brand of football. I'm not a guy that I'm not just losing my mind all the time. I feel like we're fairly composed. Now, don't get me wrong, it's there, and there's a chance, depending on how the game goes, you might see a little bit of it. But my job on game day is to facilitate calm and thoughtful processes. If we are sitting there coaching every single element of scheme or detail on game day, we sure as hell didn't work hard enough during the week. Game day is for the players to feel a sense of positive energy and a sense of, hey, man, we got your back. You cut it loose. You put in the work. You understand what we're trying to do. Just go do it. You're going to make mistakes. Make them 100 miles an hour. As whatever it is that you're doing, go full speed, be relentless in what you do, and let the game and the chips fall where they may.
Does Coach Petrino call every play?
He does on the offense. Yeah, he calls all the plays. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm on the headset, and we talk through, the third down situations, fourth down situations, depending on gameplay and structure of where we're at relative to, do we need a field goal here? Do we got to stress it and go get points? And that also depends on how our defense is playing. Do we feel like we have to go win a shootout? Then I'm going to get on there and I'm going to go, hey, coach, listen, you got to score now. Like every time you touch it, I need you to try to score. And then on the flip side of that, if we're playing great defense and it's like, hey, listen, it's 4th and 5. Don't love how we're playing right now. Punt the ball away and trust our defense.
Speaking of Coach Petrino, and he mentioned this during the spring, and we got to see some of that at practice the other day, he's not unopposed to going under center. And that seems to be so different and foreign to what we see in college football. But I thought he explained it very well. He actually is of the mindset, I'm sure you are as well, that it helps your play action pass, and it also helps your run game to have your quarterback under center.
I couldn't agree more. And also, not only to win games at the college level, but the thing that helps us get such great quarterbacks is the understanding that we do what NFL teams do. We're not just going to sit in the gun and go, oop-de-loop offense with 5 wide and just, throw the ball 150 times a game hoping we can take a screen for a touchdown. We're going to get into some solid formations. We're going to run the football effectively. And then, the play action, like you said, if you can get some play action going, that's even better. And I like our backs. He talked about the run game because I think we have a good stable of backs that do a good job for us and are dynamic out of the backfield.
So what is your plan at this stage of camp? You mentioned now you're in shells. You're going to be putting on the pads here pretty soon. You're going to be cutting them loose. How do you like to run a camp to kind of build your team up towards that opening game? It's going to be on the road at West Virginia. How do you kind of build your guys up to that point so that when you go up there to see Rich Rod, you're going to be peaking to open the season?
What a great question. And there's so much thought and science behind it now in regards to the GPS tracking systems and those types of things. So we like to, week one, we start ramping them up load-wise. You start getting the reps in, doing those things you need to do. And then really week 2 is the grind. Week 2 is where you really beat the body a little bit, push them and test them and get into some, adversity. They need to feel adversity, and that's the time to really do that. So that way you hit the mountaintop and you start to come back down right before game week, and then you ramp it back up to where their bodies, like you said, when that whistle blows at West Virginia, hair on fire and going after them. And I think our strength staff, Coach Mo, does an unbelievable job with that. And it's just intentional. I like to say that word a lot because everything matters, how you train, how you eat, the amount of time you're on the field, the amount of reps you take. And I'm a reps guy. Like if you want to come and watch like actual football practice, we still get reps. We still do the things you need to do, in my opinion, to be successful.
Last thing, talking about West Virginia, you're a young coach. Rich Rod, is he one of those coaches you admire from afar?
Yeah, Rich Rod has had a great career, done a really nice job. I mean, the one thing you talk about, your sideline mannerisms, he's an intense guy. I like that. I've always respected that about him. His players play hard for him. And he's a lot like me in regards to he hits the truth head on. He wants to be open and honest, and he is who he is. Like it, don't like it, whatever it is, he's true to himself, and I think that's why he's had such, a quality career, because people believe in authenticity, and I think he possesses that.
We thank you for joining us once again.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having me on. Many visits here in person.
Thanks. Good luck on the tour. Be safe.
Oh, the tour is great. Tour's fantastic. Citadel in Charleston on Monday.
Okay.
And then up around the state, swing back around to the coast towards the end. So we stay on the move.
It's a beautiful state. Enjoy it.
It is. Thank you for joining us. Got a couple of Chanticleer players coming up after the break. And Bergie's going to talk with them. I got to run back to my car and pick up something. I left an important phone number. So we'll be back with the players and Bergie in just a moment. Palmetto Pigskin Tour from here at Coastal Carolina. Be right back.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
The road to success, well, it isn't always a straight one, but it's so much easier getting there with a good education. I tell my kids every day before dropping them off at school, don't take this for granted. Tuition assistance from the South Carolina Education Lottery helped me go back to school when I needed to make a change. And I'm so grateful because now I am where I'm supposed to be.
Better opportunities means a better South Carolina, and a better South Carolina means a better you. Visit SCEducationLottery.com/betteryou.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
If you're juggling multiple credit card balances and you're feeling overwhelmed, high interest can add up quickly and it can become stressful to control. Now through September 30th, 2026, well-qualified borrowers can pause interest when they transfer credit card balances and enjoy 0% APR for 12 months. A balance transfer can help simplify your life, making it easier to focus and manage your budget. This limited time offer can help you move forward with confidence and less worry. Plus, with fewer due dates and less interest to worry about, you can spend more time focusing on what matters most: your goals, your family, and your financial future. Upon expiration, APR will then revert to the standard variable APR, currently 12.5%, to 17.90%. If credit criteria are not met, 17.9% APR will apply. Don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/cc for more details. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
Yeah, back we are, the Palmetto Pigskin Tour, coming to you live tonight from Coastal Carolina University, chatting with the Chanticleers, who open up the brand new season Labor Day weekend against West Virginia. Our thanks to head coach Ryan Beard. Now we're joined by a couple of members of the Chanticleers, beginning with a wide receiver out of Dallas, Texas, sophomore transfer in Tristan Gardner, and a guy I think most Chanticleer fans will remember from last year, Savon McDowell off the defense. Guys, we appreciate the time here this evening. How are things?
Things are well. Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir.
And that is Tristan first, and now Savon there, so you can recognize the voice. Tristan, let's start with you. First off, as you were going through the process of considering where you wanted to play football, what was it about Coastal that got you here?
What got me here was just always the coaches and how my time in the portal, they were always on my side. No matter what decision I made, they made sure to reassure me that they were still here for me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I previously played with them, right. So I know their style of play. I know the drive my head coach has, the OC has, and their will to win. So I didn't mind playing for this team again, and I can't wait to see what we do this year.
Sounds like you weren't disappointed that Coach Beard left Missouri State to come here. And
not at
all. Was that an opportunity you just couldn't pass down to continue to play for him?
Exactly. I was excited for him. He was excited for me, and we ended up still here in the same spot, ready to do it again. So.
Ton of receptions as a freshman at Missouri State. As a matter of fact, you set the program's freshman record for touchdown receptions in a season. So walk us through last year. What was that like for you?
For me, it was a very exciting season. Honestly, I can't thank God enough for giving me that opportunity. These coaches took a chance on me at a young age, and they just showed me the ropes of how college football works. And Coach Petrino, he draws up great plays, and I made plays in practice, and they were able to trust me enough to make them same plays on the field. So.
Now we focus in on the defensive side of the coin, and it's a young man who I called a bunch last year. Savon McDowell had a tremendous year, 11 games. He started 9 at linebacker last year. 48 tackles, had 28 solo. I'm surprised it was that few, Savon. It seemed like we called your name about every offensive play for the other team. But welcome to Sports Talk, and how has camp gone for the defense so far?
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be here. And on the defense side of the ball, we really intake the out-hustle mentality that Coach Beard pushes on us. And I feel like we got a good mentality as a whole defense. We've been riding through camp, the whole offseason. We meshed together real well, the players, new players, old players, and I feel like it's been going good.
Tough season last year. You were terrific in the Independence Bowl against Louisiana Tech, but how much have things changed maybe since that bowl game to where we are here today?
Yeah, so, of course we run a 4-down front now, so defensively my whole job, I would say, has changed. I love the defense we run now. Culturally, I feel like a lot of guys are bought in. A lot of new guys came here to win. The coaches came here to win. Coaches came here to push us. We're practicing with good intent, good mentality, and just been a great place for everybody in the whole program.
You said in the scheme your responsibilities have changed a little bit. How so?
Just regular 4-2-5, 3-3-5 defense. Just regular differences. I really couldn't even pick out everything play by play, but I feel like my whole game, it hasn't changed a bunch. Linebacker, you're going to run, you're going to make tackles. But your responsibilities have changed, and it's just a fun defense to run around in. I'll say cross field, make tackles, make plays, and command the defense.
They're going to let you turn loose a little bit and get after the quarterback some too?
Yes, sir. Any defense, but I'm going to be excited to blitz, excited to do a bunch of things.
How excited are you to have Wyatt getting him back on the field to your left or to the right, depending on where they put you in the formation?
I'm excited for Wyatt be back on the field. I'm excited for Trey. I'm excited for the new linebackers we've got, Marcellus Pulliam, Braxton Starnes, a bunch of those guys. I feel like the whole entire room we've meshed well. We've gotten along on and off the field, and I just love their play.
Tristan, offensively, what have you seen? I realize it's a very small sample size, but what have you seen in terms of growth from the spring to the first couple of days of fall camp?
From the spring to now, I would say the offense have definitely got it together as far as meshing well outside of the field and then bringing it to the field. You could tell we want to play for each other. We want to protect each other as far as O-line, as far as receivers trusting each other to run every route that we're supposed to make, and trusting the quarterbacks to get us the ball.
So you smile and nod your head when Coach Beard said you guys do not run out of bounds. You all right with that?
Yes, I'm all right with that. Like he said, it's a mentality. We protect each other, but at the same time, you got to have that mentality that you're gonna dig your foot in the ground and you're gonna give somebody a blow just like they could give you a blow. So it's just a mentality that we're not weak in this offense, and we're ready to bring on anything, all the smoke. We want it all.
Looking forward to it, guys. We appreciate you joining us tonight. We'll see you out at camp next week, and talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having us.
All right, back with Birdies and Bogeys after this.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's your weekend forecast. We'll have some showers tonight, probably ending by midnight. The low dips down to 73. Tomorrow's just like today, 92. Again, the high, a blend of sunshine and clouds, some possible afternoon and early evening downpours. And it's more the same for Sunday. 93 is our high temperature. Have a great weekend. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Start your morning right at the original Pancake House on Forest Drive in Trenton Plaza. We're not just about pancakes, though ours comes stacked with fresh fruit toppings like peach and apple and cherry. Savor homemade quiche, thick sliced bacon, sweet blintzes, and amazing oven-baked omelets, all crafted with the very best ingredients in small, fresh batches. Don't miss out on fresh squeezed oranges and hearty lunch sandwiches. Family-friendly, group-ready, always delicious. The original Pancake House welcomes you.
Proceed. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The Senate has confirmed Cameron Hamilton as head of the embattled Federal Emergency Management Agency. Hamilton was among 74 nominations approved by the Senate on Friday. The former Navy SEAL is returning to the agency he briefly led last year. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy said Friday he'll back Todd Blanche's nomination to be Attorney General, likely paving the way for Blanche to be confirmed to lead President Trump's Justice Department. Blanche's prospective confirmation appeared threatened earlier Friday When Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski announced her opposition, Murkowski cited concern that the administration could proceed with a $1.8 billion fund. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 151 points, the S&P advanced 47. More details at srnnews.com.
Are you tired of that dripping faucet driving you crazy? Is your drain doing more of a gurgle than a flow? Don't despair. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is here to save your day. Serving our community as locally owned plumbing experts, Franklin Plumbing tackles everything from minor leaks to major clogs. And we're talking fast, friendly, reliable service. They respect your home. They respect your wallet. Josh and his team offer upfront pricing, and that's important. This team I'm talking about, they're fully licensed. They're insured technicians. They're ready for any plumbing crisis that you might encounter. Whether it's routine maintenance, a stubborn blockage, or a total plumbing overhaul, they'll get the job done right the first time. They've been out to my home, my brother's home, even his business. I'm comfortable, very comfortable, bragging on Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. Stop letting plumbing problems disrupt your life. Call Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning today and experience the difference that true expertise makes. Visit their website, franklinplumbing.sc.com, or give them a call, 799-2222. That's 799-2222. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning.
South Carolina summers are hot and humid and hard on your air conditioner. When your home stops feeling comfortable, call Sweet Comfort Services. We're family owned and operated with over 30 years of heating and air experience. From service and maintenance to complete system replacement, we're here to keep your family cool. We'll even meet or beat any quote from a licensed competitor. Schedule your appointment online at sweethvac.com or call 803-331-8143. Sweet Comfort Services, comfort you can count on.
Have you heard of SCORE? For over 60 years, SCORE has provided no-fee mentoring and education to small business owners and entrepreneurs. Last year alone, our Midlands chapter helped over 425 people and across the state helped to launch more than 900 new businesses. If you're starting out or want to grow your business, SCORE can help. And if you have business experience and you want to give back as a mentor, we want to hear from you. Visit score.org to find a mentor, become one, or call us at 545-3826. That's SCORE, your partner in small business success.
Hey y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. We'd like to invite you and your family to dine with us. We have a great menu that's sure to please your whole family. We have fresh cooked burgers, big juicy wings, blue plate menu featuring country cooking, oven baked hoagies, fresh crisp salads, authentic Greek food like gyros, souvlaki, and baklava. We also carry 20 different premium cheesecakes and pies. Flight Deck Restaurant also has an arcade with 30 different games like Star Wars, Batman, Skee Ball, Bass Wheel, Pac-Man, Galaga, and so much more. Flight Deck, your favorite family restaurant. Thanks y'all and God bless.
Deer season starts now at Palmetto State Armory with the Deer Season Kickoff Sale. From now till August 9th, gear up for this year's season with 10% off all hunting clothing and hunting accessories. Looking for a new hunting rifle this year? Shop our great selection with great prices, like a .308 Ruger American rifle for only $5.99 with 10% off select accessories with purchase of the rifle. Make this deer season your best one yet during the Deer Season Kickoff Sale at your local Palmetto State Armory.
4. Straight down the middle. It went straight down the middle. Then it started to hook just a wee bit. And that's when my caddy lost sight of it. That little white pellet has never been found to this day.
Well, we are in one of the golf capitals of the world tonight, as we're at Coastal Carolina, of course, on the Palmetto Pigskin Tour. Golf courses galore down here around the coast of South Carolina. We're going to go up the coast here in just a couple of minutes and welcome into the program one of the leaders and shakers and one of the big names in golf in South Carolina, Roger Warren from Kiowa, will be joining us here in just a moment with George Bryan and Larry Maddox here on Birdies and Bogeys on Turf, brought to you by Sea Mountain Outdoors. Sea Mountain Outdoors designs and installs professional-grade synthetic turf for beautiful, low-maintenance landscapes that stand up to heavy use. From backyard patios, pet areas, practice corners, and training lanes, the turf provides reliable footing, lasting durability, and a clean, finished look season after season. Learn more at SeaMountainOutdoors.com. Okay, very quickly, as we like to do, update the leaderboards for you. The Wyndham Championship, where Bo Hustler is the leader after 2 rounds at 12 under. Ben James and Jordan Smith are 11 under. Locals, we've got Trace Crow at 6 under, Andrew Novak at 4 under, Mac Meisner at 2 under, Brian Campbell at 2 under, Lucas Glover even, and William McGirt at +2. On the Champions Tour this weekend, we have we have nothing. They played last week in Portugal, and Zach Johnson won that, so we do not have a Champions Tour event. How about the Korn Ferry? Let's see what the Korn Ferry's got going on. My dream is to make the Korn Ferry Tour one day, George. Robbie Shelton, 11 under. I got the corn part down. 11 under. He is your leader at 11 under. We got Doc Redman at -7, Frankie Harris at -6, Matt Watkins at -5, Matt Neesmith at -1. Trent Phillips is even. Carson Young is +2. Ben Martin is +4. And Bryson Nimmer, after a 74 in round 1, he withdrew. One more quick note to mention before we turn it over to George. We had the U.S. Women's Amateur going on this week, and we had 4 players from South Carolina in the stroke play portion. None of them advanced to match play. The low score, Staley Fields of Clemson at +7. Rebecca Lee from Furman was +9. Molly Hardrick from the College of Charleston +10. And George, Dawn Woodard from Greenville, the oldest player in the tournament, I think she's 55, finished at +31, 88-87. So we turn it over to you, George. You've got the tee, and you got one of the big bosses waiting to come on board.
Oh, I'm telling you, and you said South Carolina, but we're talking about a world giant in our golf industry and a leader, more importantly, a leader, and that's Roger Warren. He's up. We won't hold him long. We like to play fast, and there ain't no question he does, and that's a fact. But we're going to go ahead and bring in Instructor Maddox. This is Larry Maddox, 4-time USGA competitor, and welcome, Instructor Maddox.
Awesome to be here. I'm excited about having Roger with us after the great career he's had and all the great career he still has to go from here. So I'm excited.
Well, that excitement from quite a while back, and I just took a quick glance at the bio. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and welcome the president of Kiowa Island, and Roger Warren, Hall of Famer, PGA, former PGA of America president, and like I said, Hall of Famer. Let's welcome Mr. Warren to the tee. How you doing this evening?
Gentlemen, I'm doing great, George, Larry, and please call me Roger. I'm glad to be amongst fellow golf lovers and movers and shakers in the game. So thank you for having me. I look forward to talking with you.
Well, it's one of the things that on this show on Friday evening, it's been going on quite a while. Phil Kornblut, myself date back, but not as far back as Instructor Maddox, and he's a trivia expert. He's gonna throw some zingers at you in a bit, I'm sure. But just
oh God, I'm not good at that. So
yeah,
my memory's not as good as it used to be. So I'll give it a shot.
I tell you, I like kind of starting at a place. In 1999, I had the privilege of playing in the PGA Championship at Medina, and I think you were in Chicago at that time. Am I correct?
Yeah, I was in Chicago at that time. That's right. I didn't come down to Kiowa until 2003. So I was the honorary president of the Illinois section when that championship, it was Medina, and it was a great event. And I look back at it fondly. I had other great memories there. I got to be the Junior Ryder Cup captain when the Ryder Cup was there in 2012. And I was listening to the intro, and Bo Hostler, who's leading the Wyndham, and Robbie Shelton, who's on the Korn Ferry Tour, they both were members of my team, and so was Scotty Scheffler. So needless to say, we won. So it was a great team.
Well, it's not likely that you remember this, but do you remember anything about what happened that weekend of Medina? You all hosted an event. that Saturday in 1999, the weekend of the championship. And I think that's where I first met you. Do you have any recollection of that?
Where
Probably
was the
not.
event? Where was the event?
It was at Seven. It was at Seven Bridges. It was the
Seven Bridges.
It was a.
Oh my God!
It was for all that made. If you missed a cut at the PGA Championship, you all invited us over to play in a pro-am for the. And Roger,
I'm sorry, George. I had forgotten it.
Well, nobody really knows about stuff like that. And that was the first time I'd ever played at that level. But I got to play the weekend, even though I missed a cut at Medina, and you all hosted a pro-am. And probably the best part for me is how great that golf course was, and the people I got paired with. And anyhow,
that's
just
great.
a little fun
That's
fact.
a good memory. I had forgotten that, but now that you mention it, it was a good memory.
Well, the something else. You're a physical educator. You got a degree in physical education, and
I do.
That happened to be my major. And Phil Korn, instructor Maddox. We're talking starting in the world as a head coach, a head ball coach, correct?
Well, I started out at the junior high level and moved up to the high school level, and then became the head basketball coach. And then I quit the teaching job and went to become the director of golf at the Village Links in Glen Allen, Illinois. But I was able to still coach high school basketball for 5 more years. So I had a lot of fun coaching, and I had the best life going. I was coaching the game I wanted to coach, playing the game, and having business in the game that I love. So yeah, I've been blessed in that regard. And being a PE teacher, it's just so many great experiences. I'm glad to hear fellow PE majors are making the life for themselves.
Well, and now you come to South Carolina, Kiowa, which Kiowa Island's almost like a country in and of itself. we don't have to use a passport to get on just yet, like you do in Spain. You know, if you go out to the Rock of Gibraltar off the coast, you're just right there at it, but you still got to have your passport. And anyhow, it's just like paradise. South Carolina's paradise, in my opinion. And you came down to South Carolina in 2003 as a director of golf. Correct?
Correct. I did, and it was a great opportunity. I had been the director of golf at a 27-hole municipal golf course that was really busy. We did 95,000 rounds a year on 27 holes, so it was pretty busy in a short season. And then a new golf course was built, or an old golf course was redone to a new golf course in Woodridge, Seven Bridges, and I was there 12 years, opened the golf course and was there 12 years. But the Kiowa opportunity was a chance to come to a site that had 5 golf courses, which was going to be a challenge, and then to be involved directly with the ocean course. It was one of those things that doesn't come along very often, so you got to take it when you get it. So that was the first real experience with Bermuda grass, and we ended up getting rid of all our Bermuda grass and putting in paspalum because of the ocean and the salt and everything. And it's been a great learning experience. I get to work every day with wonderful people and have wonderful guests that come in. So I've lived a blessed life at Kiowa, and the 23 years I've been there, it's been just wonderful.
If I can ask a quick question, George, if you don't mind if I jump in just to follow up with what Roger just said. The first time you came to Kiowa and laid eyes on the ocean course, what did you know about it prior to? What were your expectations? And then what did you think the first time maybe you saw it or played it?
That's really a pertinent question. I came the first time I had heard about it, obviously, because of the 91 Ryder Cup. I think everybody who loved golf loved that Ryder Cup because we won on American soil. It was a dramatic finish. And the golf course just on TV looked really, really hard. And then I came down to Kiowa. We had a PGA annual meeting in Charleston. I think it was 92 or 93. And so a bunch of us from Illinois came down for the meeting, and we went out and played the ocean course. My first impression was it sure was a long way away from Charleston, longer than I thought we were going to drive. Then when we got out there and on the golf course, I got done with it, and I hated it. I hated the golf course. I thought it was so hard, and I thought in many cases it was just unfairly so. But by the time I got down here in 2003 for the position, Pete had been back a number of times and made adjustments to the golf course. And then over time, from 2003 until Pete passed, he would come down regularly, and I got to know him very well and got to really admire he and Alice. And it's now my favorite golf course because one of the things, I don't know if most people know about Pete, but besides being a genius, he also listened to people, and he listened to people who played his golf courses. And he didn't listen very closely to the tour guys because he didn't care what they thought. He was going to make it hard for them. But for what he called John Q. Public, he wanted to make sure the golf course was something they want to come back and play. And so he made adjustments on the golf course by taking away a lot of the rough areas, the areas that had wire grass and everything, playing very close to the fairways, and made it a little bit more playable, while at the same time creating a challenge for the tour players that every time they've been here has been, they say two things. It's a very fair golf course, and it's one of the best, if not the best conditioned major championship courses they play, which that stunned me considering the major places that these guys play. So Pete Dye was great. The golf course, we really enjoy it now, and the conversion to Pass Palom out there has made a huge difference in the quality of the conditions for everybody who plays the golf course. So today I love it. Back then I hated it.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Roger, I got to jump in. This is Larry. I got a comment, and I love him. I'm not trashing him, but Mark Calcavecchia feels the same way as you did the first time you saw the golf course.
Yeah,
but a great career. That I had to bring that up, but I also want to jump in that you mentioned Bo Hostler on your junior Ryder Cup team. He was actually Scotty Scheffler before Scotty Scheffler was Scotty Scheffler. I mean, he came out of Texas. He was the man. He still is obviously a great golfer, but I remember him at Texas, and then Scotty came along, and Bo still, to me, was the player. And, of course, Scotty's carved out his own niche.
You got it. That's right. Bo, if you remember that year, I believe it was in 12, he was an amateur playing the U.S. Open out at the Olympic. Great golf course, hard golf course, and he's right up there with the best of them playing, and that was obviously one of the reasons he made the team. He was a no-brainer. And Scotty Shelton was a good player then, and he's gone through spent some time on the tour. Now he's back on the Korn Ferry, but great young man. The team was and it was 6 girls and 6 guys, and we had a girl on that team that ended up going to I can't remember, Danielson was her last name, Casey Danielson, who ended up going to Stanford and being a great player on the college team there. And there's just a lot of great kids that played on that team and in that experience. And the best thing about it was they were just really good people too. Fun to be around, didn't take themselves very seriously, and loved to play the game. And Scotty was a great teammate, but he was the youngest kid on the team. He was only 16, and so I think it was a good experience for him too.
Yeah, and Bo was legitimately in contention into the back nine. It wasn't like he just played good as an amateur. He was legitimately in contention to about number 15.
I'll tell you another kid who was on that team, and I'm sure you heard of him. He's won 2 or 3 times on the tour, and that's Cameron Champ. The guy that when he came on the tour was one of the longest hitters, and he was hitting it long then. And when you stood on the range and you listened to him hit a ball, it just sounded like a gunshot when he hit it. The sound of the ball coming off that face was just amazing. So there's a lot of talent there, and I think we're all amazed by the kind of talent that's coming out of colleges right now. It's just wonderful to see these great players coming along.
Well, you're right out on that edge, and given all that you've seen, I'm kind of curious of all that you've seen, and narrow it down to right there at Kiowa, and you've hosted numerous events. Incidentally, my son-in-law is a guy named William Rainey. He won twice on the Ocean Course. You all host numerous events outside of the ones we watch on TV, but these are events that fewer know about. But
yeah,
you do a lot in the community, and I was just looking at the economic impact that all that is done. But of all that you know and all that you've seen, talk a little bit about what's closest to your heart as far as what Kiowa, the community, the state, even bigger, the whole game.
Yeah, it is something that is, for me, it's very important. Everything that goes on beyond, we're in the business to make money from golf. That's our business, and from the resort and so forth. But when I see the kind of things that we're allowed to do to give back, one of the things that I'm one of the most proud of is we have a chapter of PGA Hope that we do out of Cougar Point, and we put hundreds of veterans through the program who come to this program, and over time, many of them come back and say, you know, I came back from here, or I've been here when they were in the services and they've been struggling, and being able to put them together with other veterans and play the game of golf, it's just been such an awakening for them, such an ability to put them at ease and to enjoy themselves and to come back to normalcy. That, I think, touches my heart most, is a program like that. But then also for I've been happy to serve on the advisory board for First Tee of Charleston, and a program like that deals with kids is just always fun. But then for the whole community, the PGA Championships, the two PGA Champions we had in 12 and 21 have generated almost $400,000 of direct economic positive impact to Charleston County, which we're proud of there too. So I think it's indicative, and I think more and more people are beginning to see that golf is more than just another game. It has the opportunity, through playing with other people, through raising money for charities. There is no question in my mind, or the people who are in this business, we know that through the pandemic, golf was a lifesaver for people. The opportunity to get outside, to not have to be closed up, to not have to feel scared to be any place, to be outside and feel good, that paid huge dividends to the people who played during the pandemic. And they kind of played into when we did the 21 PGA Championship. We were the first major championship after the pandemic to have spectators live at the event. You know, they hadn't allowed it before that. Even the Masters was played the fall before, so they didn't have a chance in the spring of 21 to do it. So we were the first. And but we weren't able to have all the spectators we wanted, and we didn't do as many bleachers because they just didn't want people sitting next to each other. But the enthusiasm and the excitement of people at that championship, I think, was manifested on the final day, the final group, when Phil Mickelson came in, and he closed out the championship as the oldest guy to win a major championship. And the crowd broke out from the ropes, and we had 10,000 people around that 18th green. They were 20 and 30 deep, and it was an expression of their joy to be back at an event like Major Championship Golf and enjoying it and celebrating that, yeah, we're moving away from the pandemic and we're starting to feel normal again. I think that was something really special to all of us down here at Kiowa.
Well, that was, I'll never forget it, and that's pretty cool when you can play this game at the highest level into being a half a century old plus. And again, that was the 2021 PGA Championship that Phil Mickelson won. And then, hey, I want to recognize, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brian Gerard, is he still part of your staff?
He is director of golf, and he's finishing his 39th year as a professional at Kiowa, and he's been the director of golf for the last 20 years. So he is a very, very special man, and he is great at his job. He's beloved by the golf professionals that work with him and by the people who work with him in the community. He's just a great guy, and we're really fortunate to have him. Rick Ferguson, is he still with you? Now you're naming all the all-stars. That's good. Rick is now, he's not a head professional. He decided he wanted to do something different. So he manages all of our tournament groups, all the large and small groups that come in and want to play events, and he helps set them up and get them going. And it's a job we needed to have done, and he wanted to do it. And as if you know Rick, you know he's very detailed and very professional, and it's going to get done perfectly, and that's what he does. Steve Youngner. Stephen Youngner when I got here, he was an assistant professional I moved him into his first job at Oak Point as the head professional, and he's been at the Ocean Course for 20 years. But I'm blessed also to have his wife, Sarah, who manages our Governors Club. We've got 2,000 plus memberships in the club and about 6,000 people she handles. And doing all that, she's still a great player, and also she's a great racquetball or pickleball player and padel, and she's an athlete. And so, yeah, I'm surrounded by wonderful people I get to work with.
Well, that's a fact. And another fact about Stephen Younger, his dad was a great man and invited me to play along. In fact, Stephen's a few years behind me, and he and his dad would allow me to play along with them when I first started golf. And in the very beginning, Stephen's dad was quite the influence, always encouraged me to play the game. And then I got to tell you, the whole staff, very small, insignificant incident happened, the Cougar Invitational. My daughter lost a trinket, a jewelry. I don't even remember what it was. It was like a necklace. And we're talking pouring rain, about 42 degrees, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I think your entire staff, head professionals and assistants, we're talking 60, 70 people, number 11 tee at Turtle Point, were scouring in the rain. And you know what happened? I think it was Ferguson pulled out a metal detector and found it. Amazing.
That sounds like we're talking a great story.
Oh, unbelievable. And what a great group. And now, Roger, there's going to be some music that comes on. That means this Friday night golf conversation party's over, but it has been a complete privilege to have you on the show with us. And real quick, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I just want to thank you. I've really enjoyed it, but thank you.
Oh yeah. Hey, what do you have? You got a new frontier. I know it's 4 or 5 months out, but is there another frontier for you to conquer, or are you going to live in paradise and play golf every day?
I don't know how to do that. I can't even figure out if I can do that. I'm going to probably do some consulting for the resort on some projects going forward, and if there's other people who need help, I'm happy to consult there. I just, I'm 76 years old and still going, and I felt it was time to move on from this particular responsibility, but I like doing the projects, and so I'll find something.
I know it. Hey, what a privilege. 76, and that's the music. Roger, it's certainly beautiful for you to be with us. Look forward to next time, and hey, man, that's time for me to say, tee 'em high, enjoy the weekend, but shoot 'em low.
And thank you, Mr. Warren. Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Thank you, Mr. Maddox. Thank you, everybody else. We'll see you Monday.